Raleigh Water Commissioners meeting for June 12, 2013. We're opening up the meeting. In attendance are Roy Ricker, Stuart Daldell, Tim Toomey, John Reza, Superintendent, John Hargraves, and present in the audience is Jack Cook, Selectman. I'd like to bring up we had a pre-meeting up at the wastewater treatment plant up in Salisbury for the purpose of talking to Salisbury, seeing their operation, and meeting with their contractor that handles their water system. And we went up there to look at and see how they run it. There's a comparison to our system and our operation. And we opened the meeting at 4 o'clock and we closed the meeting at 5:20. We continued the meeting to over here for the 6 o'clock reconvenience of our meeting. So, do you have anything to add, Stu?
Well, I'd like to say Tim and I went to Salisbury. They have 8,200 residents. They have 3,800 users. And the average bill is about $520 a year. They have a $2.1 million operating budget, just about the same as Raleigh, and we only have about 1,900 users. And the private contractor runs it for $500,000 roughly a year. And the rest of it, 1.6 million goes for capital improvements, and they build the town for water breaks out of that. But the 500,000 is for running the treatment plant and the building. Well, that's quite a substantial savings.
So it was very informative, our meeting up there, and it's certainly something to explore. And so we've been invited to look at this company's operation up in Nashua, and we'll be looking at, maybe Stewie can be the focal point of, getting something like that organized to look at that. And I'm not saying that it's going to be a cost benefit right off the bat. I think it needs to be explored further, and we need to look at these things closer to be able to make a judgment on them. But it appears that it's a more efficiently operating operation. We need to look at it in more detail to make that determination. We'll be doing some homework on that in the next month or so.
I would like to set up a time to invite the Board of Selectmen, the Town Administrator, and you two Water Commissioners to take a trip to Nashua to look over the treatment plant up there.
And
Tim and I have gotten quite an education in the last couple of hours.
so do we want to, maybe make an invitation, come up with a date that might be at the next meeting, or you could talk to some people downtown, see what's good for schedules, and we could bring it up and make a formal request. The company's called Pennacook. We'll have one of their brochures here.
Would you like me to take care of that, set up the time?
Yeah, I would like you to do that. Pennacook Water Services Corporation is the company that provides that service for the town of Salisbury. And they report to the DPW/Water Department. Public Works Director. So, it's interesting, so.
Where they based out of, Tim?
Merrimack, New Hampshire, John.
Merrimack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to look into.
Yeah.
Myself, Stu can get us a letter or one of you to the board.
They have,
I'm sure we would love to go look at the facilities, how they run, and,
Yeah.
you know, sounds good what you guys are talking about. You've been there a couple hours and you get pretty good education, Stu.
they have double the amount of users, and the cost is much, much less.
Yeah. It'd be well worth, I think, looking into the picture.
Well, how many users do we have, John?
Just under 18.
1,800. And so they got like 3,800, right?
Yes.
So-
Yeah, Arthur.
And their operating budget, I think, is like 2.1 million, or 2 million.
2.1,
That's pretty much what our operating budget is.
yeah.
The only difference is we don't have as many customers to spread that cost over, so. But it's worth it to look in and, you know, look at, you know, what our needs are and see if that might be a cost benefit to our customers, so. All right, so in the, I'd like to open up the regular meeting, reconvene. Have you looked at the minutes,
Yes, I have.
Roy?
Yep.
I've looked at them.
I make a motion to accept them.
All in favor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next order is treatment plant change order discussions. Mr. Hargraves has been looking at the treatment plant and the operations with Weston and Sampson and our contractor, Kinsman Construction. And we've been looking at, you want to give us an update, John, on change orders?
Sure. We've received a list of pending change orders since the last list that we've approved, or recommended to the Board of Selectmen to approve. This list is showing a few credits and 4 change orders. We still haven't received the final breakdown of costs associated with these change orders from the contractor yet, but we're in the process of evaluating the issues. At the same time, we received a letter from Weston and Sampson dated June 4th expressing their satisfaction with how we handled the last 2 change orders and recommending that we continue to devise a method to streamline the process to keep the construction schedule proceeding on schedule. Then we received this letter from the Board of Selectmen expressing concerns about the amount of change orders. So I guess what we're planning on doing is responding to Weston and Sampson with a letter.
Let me read the, we got a letter dated June 6, 2013 to the Water Commissioners, and it's from the Selectmen. And it concerns change orders for water treatment plant construction. Okay, so it was addressed to us as a board. The Board of Selectmen reviewed change order 4 and 5 during the meeting on Monday, June 3rd, 2013. Upon reviewing these change orders, the Board of Selectmen voted to send this letter to you advising you that you have a serious, that they have serious concerns that these change orders appear to be a result of design flaws in the plans and specifications rather than from uncontrollable events or situations. The Board of Selectmen asks you to initiate a formal discussion with Weston and Sampson, the engineering firm hired to design the treatment plant, and to write the bid specifications regarding these change orders and how they appear to be a result of design flaws in the plans and specifications. Please continue to keep the Board of Selectmen updated on these matters. Additionally, the copies of change orders you filed with the Board of Selectmen did not include the reference proposals. Please provide these to the Board of Selectmen for review. All right, so we're gonna respond to Ms. Cook's letter in the next couple of days. And then the flavor of that letter is to, we're gonna just address this letter from the selectmen.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I make a motion that we respond to Barbara Cook's letter as a board, through John. John, you could tailor that letter to meet our concerns. You know that we have concerns and the Board of Selectmen have concerns regarding these change orders. And the implications that they're bringing forward is that there's some design flaws. So we need to have an open meeting with them. And maybe if we respond in the next couple of days with a letter to their letter, maybe we can get them in on the next meeting and invite them in. Does that sound like a good game plan?
Sure.
You guys agree with that?
I think you should have the selectmen in.
I think we ought to bring them in, talk about it, and then
I agree with you, Tom.
give our findings to the selectmen. Maybe one of us go to the meeting and bring our
We got a bunch of concerns over it, so I mean, I think they should be part of it.
well, we do have representatives here. We got Jack. I don't think we need a joint meeting, but I think that Jack, or he was a new liaison that's replacing Stewie.
We haven't done that yet.
Okay,
I'm still on.
okay,
Maybe Dave Peterson might, I don't know.
okay. So why don't we do that, John? Can you get a letter together?
Yep.
And we can get that ball rolling, and then we can have them come to a meeting, and we can talk about these things.
Or maybe they can respond, give us some information, some feedback
Yeah,
in the meantime before the
maybe we can get them, maybe we can get them to give us a letter so we can review it at the next meeting, and then maybe initiate a meeting with them or something like that. Does that sound like a better plan?
Yeah, instead of saying, why don't you come to our next scheduled selectmen's meeting at one of those meetings? You know, let's get on top of it.
Okay, so the motion is for John Hargraves to put a letter together, response to June 6th, June 4th letter by Barbara Cook, and then we'll initiate, a response so we can look at it at our next meeting, and then we can maybe get further discussions going at the following meeting. Do I have a second for that?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then additionally, the copies of change orders you filed with the Board of Selectmen did not include reference proposals. So did you refer to proposals in here, John?
No, I'm not sure what's meant by proposals.
Did you have any idea what that meant, Jack?
Well, it was, discussed around our board. I mean, we all had really concerns with thinking that the engineering, design, some of them things should have been down in ink. And, there is a clause for, 5% either way or whatever on change orders. What we're worrying about, one concern was the front beam was a major change, why that should have been, the structure of the building, and, a variety of things. It's,
Myself personally, I did not vote for the change. I felt that the contractor or Weston Sampson should have bit the bullet on that one, because this is what the residents voted on. That's what they should receive. And, they agreed to build it for X number of dollars. The contractor should deliver the goods. These change orders don't seem to stop. There's more coming up here. It's ridiculous.
Now, one of the big concerns was on that electric motor. We were all in that. There was a smaller motor. It should have been a bigger motor to run some, I'm not down to the specifics on every item there, but why that shouldn't have been put in the bids for the bigger motor. What I'm saying, not a 110, but a 220 something that was marked. You remember that one, Stu?
Yes.
At one point. And it took the bigger motor to run that system to make it go. You hire a firm to come in and hopeful they look at A to Z and all electrical installation, what you gotta do, provide to make this thing, like Stu said, to make everything work. We know about every project you see, they have change orders, on some little thing. But,
Well, this is a rather complex design that they put together. These contracts, they come up with a cost, but then they also put a buffer on it, so they make sure that they cover things that they missed or could have missed, or
right,
Ms. Cook came in on one of the meetings maybe 3 weeks ago and brought up how projects do go over, and then they have a contingency on that. Contingency being a 5% contingency on these change orders. So it boils down to whether or not, and that's why John is looking into it, is whether or not these things are valid, or they might be in a gray area, but at the end of the day, if it's under 5% at the end of the project, then there's not much you can do about it because it's already built into it. So it only becomes an issue when the 5% goes up to 21%. Like that one company that had a project and they were at 21% over. So that's why we're trying to get in front of that to make sure that we stay below the 5%. And the only way we can do that is if correct me if I'm wrong, John, but we're in there looking at it and making sure that we're running lean and mean.
Yeah.
And if something does come up that might be a little bit off, at least we're documenting that. So if it does go over 5% at the end of it, then we have a basis to make some adjustments. And so that's what we need to do. So we need to, first of all, we need to get everybody on the same page with this. Selectmen, Weston and Sampson, our department.
The thing I don't understand is like, on that beam bit, they're gonna charge us $13,000. And they'll give us a $1,500 credit for the beam that they had in the plan.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't seem like right at all.
Right, the documentation they submitted didn't explain the full story. Come to find out that there was a lot more work related to the ceiling, if you will, underneath it, an entryway, wrapping everything.
But they want us to pay 13 for something extra, and only give us 15 for what they figured.
Yeah, that was, at first appearance, it seemed like there was a disconnect there, but that wasn't the whole guts of the change order. There's a lot of things that weren't included in that summary that they gave us.
So I think that our efforts will, bring everybody a little bit closer together on this issue. And hopefully it'll make the cost go down on any change orders that come forward. And we'll have a better understanding or grasp of, what to do if they go amok at the end of the project, so.
I mean, I just think when they send us a change order, it should show deducting X amount of dollars because we're upgrading to this, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We're gonna make sure that we have every bit of the documentation we need for this next upcoming change order.
I think that, you know, we might be seeing some more change orders, obviously. That's kind of expected, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when they come in, if we need more documentation on why they're bringing them in, or what the pricing is, you know, we should be bringing it up now, and in this letter going back to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
make sure we understand it completely.
yeah,
Sometimes the estimates, we rely on this manual called the means handbook. If we have to go to that level, we will. We want a good estimate as to what these costs, why they are what they are. That is one thing, the first shot is about a contract. And the second part is, why are they asking that amount?
yeah, I don't, our expertise is different, varied up here, so that's why we get John.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's why he said that we needed that beam, and that's why I went with the recommendation of last time. That's going on.
So we're gonna have a letter getting out of here in the next couple of days, and I guess the chairman can sign that letter. Is that what the consensus is? Get this thing going? Okay.
Well, we're on the treatment plant. I have a serious concern here. John, perhaps you can answer this. Why hasn't the concrete pumping company been paid? This goes back to January.
I guess that's still going on between Kinsman
What seems to be the problem?
and the lawyer for the, and they haven't been paid as far as.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the problem? Kinsman's getting their money.
Yeah, I don't know.
This isn't right. Goes back to, there's an invoice for January, another one February, March, 3 in March, 2 in April, for a total of $6,365. Kinsman's getting their money, but they're not paying the contractors
Right.
themselves. It's not right.
So when was the bills, what was the date on the work?
January 30th, February 13th, March 13th, March 18th, March 28th, April 4th, and April 9th.
Okay.
Tim, we also, excuse me, Tim, go ahead.
They're a reliable company, independent concrete pumping. They've been
Right.
around a long time.
Yeah.
Here these guys,
Well, where'd that come from? Downtown?
it's a material where it came from.
Well, I was saying, you know, I don't see it in my folder.
Well, we did, I just passed that, there was public information, we got it. The selectmen,
We
so
got notification. We didn't have it.
well, the thing it is, I mean, we just approved this week 300,000 to Kingsman, the general contractor. I mean, you guys, I mean, you're signing, the Board of Selectmen sign agreement to pay installments and whatever, they're getting paid. But like this letter, for this company to come in, you know, they're only a little subcon, it's what, 6,900, 66?
63, 65.
Yeah, whatever. Goes
So why
back
can't town hall hold up any more money going to them until all these are taken care of?
Well, I'll tell you right now, Roy, I'm not signing another bill for Kinsman Construction till these gentlemen are paid.
Don't they come to you first? They come to you, John?
That's right.
Huh?
They come to us.
Then they go to accountant, then for us for
We sign
finance.
it first.
We don't get the individual ones.
Is this being worked on by Weston and Sampson, this issue?
How you doing, guys?
Boy,
Good, thanks, Mr. Warfield, for coming in. You give us the invoice.
Yep. I would have been there sooner, but I stopped for a small box of clams. Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Christ, I ain't seen you guys in years.
Okay. So anyways,
Tim, do we know if Weston and Sampson's working on this?
Well, I noticed that we received another one this week, didn't we? Concerning another contract that didn't get paid. Was it a carpenter? What was that? It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think this is,
Yeah, so they have a whole variety of contractors coming in there. And they may have not, maybe it was a change order that they weren't allowed to, or maybe, I don't know what it was. It's not really our concern.
Well,
But they're going.
I'm concerned as a resident of this town that and a member of this board, that the concrete pumping company, they came in to pump concrete for them because the trucks couldn't get that close, so they hire a pumper. And they don't pay them.
They don't pay them, but the procedure that they do is that they.
But they don't, they haven't.
No. Well, what they've done is, what they do is they present that to their bond, they want to present that to the town to go against the bond. The procedure that they do, that's why we see it. But it's still, the contractor is responsible for paying it. And what they do is they put it to the town, because the notification to the town must be made, so they can, have that level of, oversight with the town and everything.
I understand what you're saying, but the bottom line is these gentlemen deserve to be paid.
Yeah, and the other contractor deserves to be paid if he did the service.
You're
So
right.
can-
These
so-
guys come in, they want the exorbitant fees for a change order, but they don't want it.
So, John, can you check out,
They don't want it.
give us some details on that? And what's the next procedure?
Got you ready?
Now I'm driving my cousin.
So we're all set with, John's gonna check up on that. That concerns the treatment plant.
Okay.
Okay,
We can dig into that, get the answers to these questions about the subs.
you wanna work with John on that?
Sure. I mean, we'll get you some answers by the end of the week.
Okay, so, Al, we'll get that into processing.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do, I don't wanna have to be like the concrete pumping guy. I'm only teasing. But he's bullshit.
Watch it, so run,
Oh, I'm sorry.
TV for the
I don't.
relationship of the people around.
Okay. You don't want me at these meetings, Tim.
All righty, thanks, Al, for coming by.
Okay, you guys have a nice day. Thank you very much.
See you, Ralph.
Take care.
Okay, so, we're all done with you, John?
Okay.
Purchase orders, how many do we got
Good
here?
evening.
You got me good.
Can we knock that out before we bring in the first,
I already signed mine.
okay. Okay, so.
What's this?
That's for, engineer here.
Oh,
This is a police department, huh? What does this do to the Havel Street repair?
yes.
This one, the
We
number.
needed 2 police officers for the day. So what's the procedure? We pay them for the whole day?
I think it goes 4 and then 8, isn't it, Jack?
So it goes 4 to 8.
They don't normally get 4 for anything, and then if it's over 4, they get the 8. correct?
8,
Okay. This- So in the future, John, do you think you could just go through these and initial them before we go?
Okay.
That'll go in next week, though, we
You need a PO for this?
should make one out.
You wanna make a PO out for that?
Okay.
We can get that into this list here? This one here? You got a PO? We just- All right. We got another PO coming.
It's doing commitment to the same.
What is it?
175.
Date on? Service?
June 6th. Don't bill until next week, now.
Where's the girls' time?
Hmm?
Where's the ladies' time?
All right, time sheet.
So
10:15 is gonna be the number.
what?
10:15 should be the number,
10:15.
purchase number. If they go in auto.
Take it out of the move doors.
Yeah, I'll go with auto, so it should be number 10:15.
Okay, so, I don't see a problem. You looked at this,
Yep, I already did.
and then, did John sign this? You could have signed this before we signed it.
And do the commitment then.
Well, when he gets back in here, is he getting the PO?
He's trying to find the right one in the order, because it came out with 10:51, it should be 10:15. You should have him in order, you know, so we ain't chasing him down the road. But the secretary is supposed to be.
Where's Laura tonight, Jim?
Laura's on vacation.
Oh,
I think she's been on jury duty. And then we got a new administrative assistant working, so we got Marie coming in to hopefully bring her up to speed. So when it rains, it pours. And what's this?
That's that commitment that we sign every month.
This is the commitment too. What do you know about this?
This is, Rob, remember
I know that, but
we voted him in, but we didn't put the money down. I thought I had to go to the personnel board,
you know, somebody put 25, 60.
but, yeah.
That's what we said at the meeting.
Is that what we set it up at? I don't remember.
That's the maximum.
we
So
just
approve
gotta
this.
sign.
So supervisor would be John. He's gotta sign this, and then department head, I guess that would be me, wouldn't it? I don't know. You know anything about this?
I never signed on
What's that, for an upgrade? Ken?
Wage action.
Yeah, be supervisor, chairman,
So the chairman would be the department head?
right. You,
Okay.
I run it, you know, same thing when we
it. I've never
Do up the
come up with one,
upgrades.
you know, it's always
Yeah.
been the same.
do them every year in the, you know, in the cemetery. So, Probably same thing.
Do you think you could go out there and see if you can help John? Thanks.
You got a gentleman waiting up here too. You
I
got
know.
interviews, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do, I told him anywhere from 20 out to whatever. I wanted to knock some of these things off.
She squirrels them away.
Okay, we set?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then sign these first, and then you make that out. and
John.
go on.
This is a wage action.
Yeah,
Did you review this?
yes,
Okay, do you know that you should sign here?
yeah.
Okay.
That, 15, not 12, 12.
Okay, now this one here is another wage action for
Yeah.
a new employee. Did you check the rate here and make sure the rates are okay?
Yep.
Okay. And then we got, you're working on the PO, and we got the, before you, John, you looked at the salary, so what you gotta do is you gotta sign the supervisor first.
Yep.
And a new business, gentlemen. I would like to see a report monthly, what we spent the previous month, and what came in, see where we are financially, see where we stand.
I think we ought to table that to the next meeting when we have Laura here. Laura,
All right?
I wanna see what is involved with that. I think she's already doing that, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem, but I want her input on it.
Well, I wanna know what I'm signing, I don't wanna be,
Yeah.
spending more than,
So do you think you can get Laura to do a monthly financial tally for us? And then you could review it, make sure it's accurate and everything. Peter?
Yeah.
I will be with you in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
What about this, Essex retirement one? Before.
Let's finish up this thing here, okay? Let's just kind of,
Yeah, you can put a name on the company.
That's coming in,
Is it?
yeah. This is, this is to be signed by John. This,
nothing to do with us, huh?
The only reason I signed it before for Jason was because John was absent.
Okay.
Peter, you want to come in?
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in, Peter. I'm Tim Toomey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Rebecca.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Peter.
Nice to meet you.
Mr. John Reza, he's our superintendent.
Nice to meet you.
Have a seat. So, you're interested in our primary operator position?
Yes.
And somehow, what's my name?
Right now, you're in
The
Topsfield.
other one.
Yes.
How often you, how many hours you putting in here, full-time?
Full-time, and then depending on the week, callbacks, or there's myself and another operator, and we switch off every other weekend for the weekend duties.
Looks like it's
Okay.
a new bulbs, labor, I guess.
What kind of treatment system you have over there?
Right now, we do chlorine, potassium hydroxide, fluoride, and we add a manganate, or it's a phosphate blend to keep the manganese basically in suspension. We're not really getting rid of it, but we're keeping it in suspension. The wells pump up around somewhere between 0.3 to 0.4, depending on the day. There are 2 pump stations, one that has 40 vacuum wells and one that has 20 vacuum wells. And 2 500,000 tanks and about 25 miles of, or except 50 miles of water main, 25 of it is still asbestos concrete. There's, I believe, roughly 1,700 to 1,800 customers, and about 462 hydrants.
Boy, it sounds like us, doesn't it?
About the same, we have just about the same amount of customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Have you had any problems with the water quality in the last, say, 5, 10 years?
Ever since basically, we think since the beavers moved in, but we can't really pinpoint that. But our manganese levels have gone up, but they've not gone up enough that the state believes that we need a treatment plant. The town went for a treatment plant, but it got shot down by some local town members. And we're right at the around 0.3, but with the phosphate blend, it keeps it in suspension, so you don't actually see it. So people don't really notice it's there.
So, you guys think the beavers might be causing this problem?
We think the beavers might be, because they're raising the ground level, in which our wells pull from,
Okay.
and changing how the aquifer actually works. So they've let some water out, but it really hasn't done anything. We actually, our main pump station with the 40 wells used to have the lowest manganese level. We cleaned the wells this spring, and they went from about 0.1 to about 0.4. So we're not quite sure what made that happen. We shut off some of the wells that had the highest manganese, but the darkest water,
Yeah.
and that still didn't seem to solve the problem. So,
Um, We're trying to multitask here.
that's fine.
I'm sorry. Do you guys have any questions? John?
Where are you interested in Raleigh, Peter?
I'd like to move up to maybe a treatment plant. Since I have a grade 3 distribution and a grade 3 in training for treatment, but a grade 2 full in treatment. The only reason I can't get a full grade 3 is because I haven't worked on a system that requires a 2
Yeah.
for a 3. I have the education to back it up, but I just can't do it because I don't have the experience running a plant like that.
Okay. Roy, do you have any questions?
No.
John?
You got a distribution license, they must have done some distribution work too, right?
Yeah, basically, there's 3 of us that work there,
Yeah.
and we do everything. Most of what happens is my boss will go up, he'll send out the emails, but I pretty much, for a water main break, I'll run the show. Right now, we use Hoffman Construction to do most of our digging, because we found working with the highway department just doesn't seem to always work very well. Plus, they have smaller trucks, and we found that it's more efficient to use a 10-wheeler or a tri-axle, because it only has to be seen once,
Right.
versus a 6-wheeler, you have to fill it twice, maybe 3 times.
Right.
And we find that their operator seems to be a little more proficient. Plus, they have the use of a mini excavator, backhoe, or a large excavator. Our backup would be Thompson Excavating, and sometimes we'll go with Masterson. But we pretty much, if it's Masterson there, they do most of the digging, but I usually end up doing all the repair work in the hole.
Okay.
I've done hydrant replacements. I can repair a hydrant. Most of the hydrants we have are Darlings, Waters. We have some AVKs, but they seem to freeze up on us for the most part, and they're hard to get parts. So the way we usually replace those is we dig around and pull them out and put a Waters in. But that's I can run the machine. I don't usually run the machine just because I usually oversee, and I do have a Class A.
Peter, we have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We're just exploring it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing definite, but we're exploring privatizing.
Okay.
Whether it would be all or part, maybe part of the department. We don't know yet. We just in the early stages.
Yeah.
May go nowhere.
So are you guys enterprise, or are you
Yeah.
with your enterprise?
How many on staff over there at Thompson?
Just 3 of us. We used to have a permanent part-time individual who became full-time when about 3 years ago, I believe it is. We lost our operator who'd been there 16 years to his 3rd OUI. So I moved up, and we only have 1 position. It's only operator. There's no distinguishing between seniority or no seniority. So I basically did charts for 2.5 years, Saturdays and Sundays, unless I wanted the weekend off, because we had issues with finding someone who actually was licensed to operate the system. So we hired, the Monday that our full-time operator got arrested, basically, in the parking lot. That same day, that same week, the Wednesday, our 32-hour-a-week person gave his 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah.
So we went from a staff of 4 to a staff of 2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we stayed like that until December, when we hired a permanent part-time employee. And then it took him about, I want to say, a year and a half to be able to become licensed to operate the system.
How long have you been with Topsfield Beer?
I've been there permanent part-time since 2006, and then I went full-time. That was January, and then July I became full-time with them. And then I worked summers for them probably 2 or 3 years before that.
So right now, you have, is it just 2 guys, or did you say 3?
There's 2 operators and 1 superintendent.
Okay, so you have a superintendent and 2 operators,
Yes.
primary and secondary.
Well, listed primary and secondary,
Yeah.
not recognized in the collective bargaining unit as that. But I'm the primary operator, and the other individuals listed as the secondary operator.
I see. So on record with the state, you're the primary.
Yes, that's correct.
And when you have a water break, then you bring in some contractors.
Yep.
But then you're out there making sure it gets connected properly.
Mm-hmm.
I get them in order.
What's your budget a year for Topsfield? Any idea, Peter?
I want to say it's 6 million, 6 to 8 million,
6 to 8 million, and how many customers?
1,700.
Yeah.
Can't be 6 million.
Oh, sorry, 6 to 800,000, not million. Sorry.
That's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what kind of salary range are you looking at?
We can sign that. That was too far.
Probably around 24 to 25.
And then when would you be able to start?
I could start within a month or, you know.
I'll turn this off. Sorry. And then is your position union now?
What do you say?
Yeah, you a union position?
Yes, we are a union position.
Okay. So this would be a union position. And, do you have any other questions, guys?
No.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming, Peter.
You're welcome. Thank you for your
Nice to
time.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Peter.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Okay, so we got the stack of POs there. We'll all
Yeah,
set with
get
that.
everything set up for secretary.
This thing here, what's the problem? Where's that showing up again, John? Did
I'm
you-
waiting for John to sign, put it in the one file.
Actually, I talked to Deb, she has me holding this for me.
She asked you to hold it on? Okay,
Hold on.
all right.
Hold on, Mark.
This, retirement thing.
We want that up here.
Okay, so we're, right now, you're a jury.
Yes.
I'm not sure what time, yeah, 7 o'clock. Okay.
Yes.
I'm Tim Toomey.
Tim, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Jerry.
Just
Jay, I go by Jay. It's
Jay, just do those out. Nice to meet you.
This is Gerald William Vandenberg,
Ben Amberg.
Van Amberg.
I brought a few resumes. Well, I turned one in kind of in haste because Amy called and asked if I could bring it
Okay.
down. And I
Oh,
had a
thanks.
little time to revise it over the weekend.
I'd like to thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for saying.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
So now right now you're working for Georgetown?
I am currently not working for Georgetown as of last Monday.
Uh-huh. All right, so you got a 2T, 2D, you got a CDL, B, is that what we need, Roy? And you got a hoisting license. How many years' experience you have?
Over 20.
Yeah.
Was with Georgetown for 13 years, Newburgh Port Water Department for 6 years. I did excavating in the private sector for 3 years doing utility construction. And I also worked for DLMR company installing pumps, turbine pumps, and
Yeah.
groundwater cleanup.
Who'd you work for over there?
David?
Dave Mark?
Yes.
Did you work with the Ashes? Was it Larry? Is it Larry?
Jim Ash?
Jim Ash. Yeah.
A couple times. His rig was kind of, he kind of went out on his own. Really.
Yeah.
He was kind of a one-man show.
And his brother was a mechanic there or something, wasn't
The McNeil brothers
it?
were,
McNeil. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, they were pretty talented guys, actually.
Yeah, I knew a lot of those guys. John Gahagan.
I'm sorry?
John Gahagan. Is it? No.
Big John,
Crowley.
Polish guy.
Crowley.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
there you
it.
go. I haven't seen him in a while.
Corelli. Yeah.
All right, so you're looking for a primary operative position, or you?
I am looking for whatever position I can fit into here. I think I'd be an asset to the company.
Yeah.
Not afraid to get dirty, I work hard. I know the job well,
If the primary was an opening, would you go for a secondary operative?
absolutely.
What would your salary range be?
I would like to be somewhere around $25 per hour.
We have to be honest with you, Jay, as I said to the gentleman before you. We're just exploring the situation, but there's that chance we could privatize. Whether it comes to fruitation or not, I don't know, they go over. It just have to be honest.
Well, I appreciate it.
Let the see outside for a second.
Well, can we do it at the end of the meeting?
No.
All right. You guys have any more questions?
I know.
No, Jerry has 20 years of experience.
Do you have any questions, Jerry?
No, sorry, no.
All right, so, all right, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for saying that.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Joe.
Have a good evening.
You too, thank you.
Okay, so. David Allen Foote.
Yes, sir. How are you today?
Good, and you?
I'm doing well.
Tim Tony.
Hi, Dave. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Hi,
Nice.
nice to meet you, brother.
How are you?
This is John
Before? You need another copy of your resume or?
Yeah, if I could just have it.
Absolutely.
The reads of,
I think I brought 2 extras if anybody else wants one.
you need one?
Thank you.
I got actually, I just found yours.
Mr. Sampson?
I do currently,
You do.
yes. I've actually working here off and on with Rob.
Okay, sure.
We're actually working a couple of contracts, so I'm also right now working in Pepperell. But so you got me moving around. It's good. You can see a lot of diverse equipment. I primarily worked for 2 water companies in my past 30 years. It was Consumers Water, which was based on Londonderry, and then Pennachuck Water in Nashua.
Yeah.
Worked for their treatment plant for 15 years.
And I checked for 15 years?
Yeah.
Well,
The one in Nashua?
Yep. Surface water, Merrimack River was the, source of supply.
yeah. What kind of treatment system they got?
It was, carbon filtration, a pulsator, clarifier. We also did, we ran like 150 smaller systems such as Hudson, Wilton, Londonderry. I could go off with so many. We ran a lot of smaller systems from gravel packs to small condo associations to whole townships.
Yeah.
They basically did everything. I was on the road most of the time. We'd alternate from running the treatment plant. You'd run the treatment plant once a week or on weekends if that was your shift. But, so you get both the best of both worlds.
How are the regulations up in New Hampshire versus Massachusetts?
They're not as hard as they are down here. They're not as stringent.
Yeah.
Some things are. You get your full log removal and stuff down here. You don't have that up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems a little easier in New Hampshire, if you will. Rig wise.
Well, would there be a lot of things up there that wouldn't pass the water quality standards down here?
No, it's just a lot more paperwork. It seems.
Down here's a lot more paperwork.
I ran Salisbury for about 1.5 years. Pennachuck got the contract, and I was asked if I'd run it. I went down for 1.5 years and ran down there.
Yeah.
And everything from soup to nuts, from meter reading to distribution work to the pump stations.
And how long have you been working for you? Let's see.
For Weston and Sampson,
Yeah.
I've worked for them for just a couple of months.
Okay.
I actually got out of the water industry for a little bit. Thought I'd try something different. Worked for a medical equipment company, and I missed the diversity. I mean, I was in a building. I was the service manager for 5 people, working on everything from stair lifts to chairs to walkers, you name it.
Yeah.
But I missed the diversity of it being, on the road, and it was tough to get used to staring at the same 4 walls all day, and it just wasn't a comfortable situation. Just not enough change.
I can appreciate that. You like to be outdoors.
I do. I like to be busy and do different things all the time. And that was the biggest thing. My wife loved the job because I was, I'd be home at the same time every night. There was no duty. There was nothing. But being in that same building for 8 hours a day, looking at the same 4 walls, is tough. It was tough for me. That's when I decided that I'm going to go back to what I know for 30 years.
I'll say the same thing I said to the other 2 gentlemen. We have to be honest with you. There's always that chance we may quit privatizing.
Yep. I know you're building a new treatment plant, of course, and if
Maybe part of the system, all of it.
yeah, well, if it would be an exciting venue to participate in should it come down to me or however it goes.
Right now, we're just screening candidates.
I understand.
We hope to make a decision soon, but we don't know yet.
Yep.
We're just going to find out who's out there and who'll be available. So you'd be looking for a primary position?
Primary or secondary? I would of course prefer primary. You bring a lot to the table, and planning maintenance, you know, your maintenance of a treatment plant can, if it's not done, that can crush you, you know, and it's the sort of stuff that'll catch up to you. There's a lot of good computer programs out there that, you know, you just feed in the information, what you want done, and it'll give you a schedule when, you know, when you gotta do it. But it'd be exciting.
John, do you have anything to ask?
So you've done distribution work.
Yes, I have.
Don't mind
Not a
the
bit.
nitty gritty.
Not a bit. It's all part of the job, and it's, again, it's diversity, you know?
Yeah,
It's a challenge,
Yeah,
you know?
well, it is.
It's, you know, you gotta get your hands wet and dirty, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty mechanical, I work on all my own vehicles. I still burn wood for heat, so I'm pretty shaped up. I probably heat my house about 90% with firewood,
There you go.
so.
Where do you live?
I live in Derry right now. Takes me about 40 minutes to get here. I get on 93, 213, 495 to 95. But we're in the process of selling our house. I've got a 5-acre lot and a pretty big house, and you know, we've lived there for 20 years, and the maintenance, you know, home ownership is nice, but the maintenance, you know, mowing twice a week and snowing, blowing, and shoveling, me and my wife are, you know, looking for something a little simpler, like a condo that we can spend more time together, because we seem to be living for the house at this point, you know, it's just, the joys of home ownership doesn't seem to be always what they're cracked up to be. It was, you know, it was great for 20 years, but it seems like, you know, we'd like a little more time for ourselves.
The chores don't go away around the house, do they?
They don't. You have to mow twice a week, and you know, you get those weeks we had like last year where it snowed every, you know, twice a week, and you know, you gotta paint every year. You just, yeah, I've had my fill of that, you know.
Yeah.
We've had some long talks, so we're looking at moving somewhere, whether, you know, being Derry, closer to this way, I don't know.
Okay.
You know, it all depends on what happens in the future.
Well, I don't have any more questions. What's your salary range?
I'm looking for 24, 25 an hour.
Okay.
I was a member of the Steelworkers Union through Penachuk, so I've been in a union before. Currently, I'm not.
Okay.
Down in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But like I said, you know, if it is me that gets chosen, it would be exciting to be involved in a new plant again. You know,
Okay.
look forward to something like that.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us your time.
No problem. I was actually here at 7:15 this morning. Well, I talked to Amy and she said, "Can you make it on Wednesday at 7:15?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." I got here this morning, I'm all front talking to Rob, and then I'm like, "Yeah, I got an interview at 7:15." And he's like, "The board meets tonight." And I'm like, "Okay, so I guess it's not AM." So,
I appreciate it.
no problem. Thank
David,
you.
very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as
Thank
well.
you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice shirt. Nice out. Great place to eat. You have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Well, it certainly is a good crop of candidates. Just have to, I would encourage you guys just to maybe make some calls if you have anybody interested, that you're interested in, and maybe check some references. Want to update us on this thing here, John? What's this?
I believe that's common inventory.
What's this?
That's it. That's the common inventory.
So, we have to have inventory done once a year?
Yeah.
So is this done?
No, actually, I'm just double checking it.
Okay,
Laura printed it out.
so she printed it out, and then, when do we have to have this done by?
By the end of June, I think.
When do you think you have that done?
I hope by the end of June.
Okay.
A lot of hardware out there.
Is all the hardware here, or are they all over the?
Well, some of
facility?
it's in the trucks and, there could be some in the stations.
Okay.
Spare parts and stuff, so. I'm just checking.
So where does it go from here?
No, Laura usually, puts it into the system. Matches up whatever she has in there.
Where do we do it? So,
It's just tracking material.
who normally does this thing? Is it the primary operator?
Yeah.
So I guess she'll be done by end of June, but so they have to have paperwork in. Do you know anything about this, Jack? Do they have to have paperwork in for inventory on any of these departments? You got anything there with the cemetery?
No, we haven't done it in a while, to talk about it. Years back, it was, everyone did it.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether your enterprise, like the light department or what, I don't wanna speak up and say it's gotta be done or whatever.
No.
But I think
It's a fiscal year figure that they're looking for, what the inventory is.
I think you just keep it in-house, Tim, tell you the truth.
Oh, okay.
I think that's,
Yeah.
keep it in-house and our records and,
So if we're down on stock, do you just order it up to make sure that before the end of the year, so we can get that in
Yeah.
on the end of the year budget that we have, or is that
Yeah.
something you do?
Yeah.
So we kind of needed before, if we knew it was what we had and what we could order, to have that, maintain that inventory,
Right.
and we had money in the budget, then we could order it up now under this past year's budget. Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
yeah, I think,
Yeah.
not speaking for the light department, but if you, probably asked them, how many, transformers they had, or they bought, say January, they bought 10. Well, let's use the fiscal year, July 1, they buy 10. At the end of the year, they can say, oh, we used 3, so we get 7 out on the shelf. It's like you guys, you buy a lot of meters, you would say you bought 100, so you go, when your meters come in, where they install them or what, press a button, how many we got on the back shelf? We used 20, we got 80 left. I think it's more or less like a stock item. Remember, John, when I was on,
Yeah.
they did it, the workers did it, and we kept a running report on it. Just keeps you what in-house stock and,
Is
You
it
get-
stock or is it equipment too?
yeah, I mean, the equipment would be like a standard thing, you got 4 pickups,
Yeah, it's just, all it was stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
runs everything.
Repair fittings, brass fittings, iron fittings,
Yeah.
hydrant meters and pipe.
Okay, so
Any
I should-
vehicles in there,
maybe
Roy?
you should read it before I ask. What about equipment now? Like we were looking for a trench box here about 3 months ago. We didn't know we even had it, so. Is there an equipment list of stuff here we gotta check?
I'm not sure about that address though.
Okay.
You still have one in the town report all the time.
It dropped, Roy,
I can remember,
because it made the town report that big, you see the highway department.
like I
Two
remember,
hand
they
saws.
counting shovels with him.
Yeah.
As a kid, I used to go
Yeah,
down
you
there,
got
how many square shovels there?
Yep, you got it.
He'd write everything down.
And I don't really know what happened to that, but it's been years.
Mhm.
Like you
Okay.
just said, town report, if you brought out of 1950, you could probably, highway department, inventory.
I used to go with my grandfather, I was
Yeah.
just a kid, and he'd have me counting shovels and then
Yeah.
move over to the rakes and
Yeah,
wheelbarrows and.
yeah. Back end sanders and wheelbarrows and whatever, size. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interview seasonal labor, once again, we're still waiting for our last candidate that we're looking at, we thought we might have a few guys coming in tonight, but they didn't qualify, so. They didn't have enough experience. Okay, so. Special town meeting article number 25, standard operating procedures. What's this about, John?
No, I didn't get a chance to talk to Laura before she left. I don't know why she put it in there. I don't know what she meant by that.
Okay, so,
Put a hole in this.
why is, okay.
I think attached to it is prices that she was getting.
Is this supposed to be some kind of a deadline? We have to meet by this or next week regarding this thing?
On the SOP?
Yeah, are we supposed to have that on the, together and into the DEP at a certain
I don't
date?
know if there was a deadline on this. When I spoke with her the other day, there were a couple more prices that she needed to get.
She's still trying to procure this?
Yes.
So this is like a next year thing? To request quotes, so she's got, she's got 3 companies.
Yeah.
So she's gotten some prices.
Yeah.
But you haven't talked to her whether we should be acting on this right now, or why was?
Then you should put a hole in this until she's here.
I think it's informational, is what she was with it.
Okay, so we can't do anything until Laura gets here. Is that what your response is?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that brings us into old business. And part of the old business, it's at the end of the year. I'm gonna move up item 4 to outstanding bills with department. So we have,
You passing over new business number 4?
we're gonna talk about number 4 right now. So we have some bills. Then at the selectmen's meeting, then they have some bills from Yankee Pine that they wanted to pass forward. So
I meant new business number 4. Did you forget that one?
No, we already did that.
that's on a hold. John didn't sign it, so he said that the town administrator wanted to talk to him about it. Or
Yeah.
so she wants to talk to you about that?
Yeah. I called her on that. Said she'd get back to me.
Okay, so on the outstanding bills, we have those bills here. We can review. Yankee Pine. It's in our package.
Jack starts picking up the rubbish the 1st of July, right?
Did, we cut a PO for you?
Oh, she sent me a letter. It'll be picked up weekly on Tuesdays.
Okay.
It starts about the 1st of July,
Yeah,
no fiscal year. Well, set that was all for
Okay, so John, you wanna bring up Yankee Pine?
Yep, I believe the selectmen approve releasing payment for the 54, the 64, and the credit for 2219.
And then there was a couple that wasn't even brought forward on a warrant, was it? You recall something like that?
Yes.
I think we got 2 additional bills that were submitted after the previous bill, so.
it. What's the total, John?
Looks like 428.
Excuse me?
Looks like 428.
Well, there's a bill here for 405. There's a bill here for 2219 and 64, and 5438.
I think they paid those. Go to the front page.
They paid these here.
On the official action notification.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the material for, John?
That was for the original building. Yes.
So where did the wood go? Where did it go?
There's casing for the doors,
For,
In the new garage?
baseboards. No, in this building.
for the server room?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got a window there.
Yeah, that was supposed to go in the room,
Where's the window?
but we still have it.
Where is it?
It's in the garage. I believe. Storage.
Okay.
It's not installed.
No.
Where's that going in that server room too?
Yeah. Well, it was business manager's office.
Okay, so, we need to take an action. We need a vote saying that, you can put those 2 bills on to a warrant next time, for the next meeting,
Okay.
so they can get forwarded in there. So the window is actually for Laura's office.
Right.
We just haven't figured out how to, install it now at this point. We have the window.
Right.
Okay, so if I have a motion,
Well, the way what you just mentioned, is the window definitely going in, or you're thinking about it?
we get the materials. We haven't, well, the motion would be, we have the window, we need to, make a vote to, if money is available, to install the window and procure that. Or return the window.
That's what I was thinking, if the window's not going in.
Yeah.
The way you said it, we have to figure out how to put
We
it
gotta
in.
go window
So
in that server
definitely
room
going
now,
in.
right? Is that going between the server room and her office?
It was just on the back wall towards the parking
So what's involved with that, John?
lot.
Interior wall though,
Huh?
No, exterior.
Exterior.
how large is the window, John, roughly?
Um,
Like, if wide as this table?
I don't remember what this is.
Is it too far 44, GW 4040. Don't say nothing else.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably 40 by 40 inches.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's a little bit over 3 feet by 3 feet. Well, I think we gotta move those forward, and,
No words for the old building, as far as I'm concerned, we should, okay, it's not for the new building.
what I think we ought to do is determine whether we need a window in there or not. And then if we need a window in there, I think we ought to get a motion to install it, so it's at some later date. But for today, let's just get we have the window, we have it here, and we need to pay for it, we ordered it. We don't know what the implication is to send them a window back, whether they'll take it back or not. We don't know.
Is it a standard window?
They're gonna need something for a window in there, I mean, it's like a box in there,
Yeah.
you know?
Is it a standard window? You're talking about an exterior wall, the concrete blocks?
Yeah,
It's a concrete block or concrete,
it's concrete.
so it's a saw cut.
Yeah,
Quarter of a sure put that in there.
find out.
Well, we can't pay for it in 2013.
What, I make a motion that we, hang on to the window, and then have John get a price of what it's gonna put in.
And we have to handle it next year, if we have money that's available to do that. That's what I just
I mean,
said.
that's like a shoebox in there, I mean, she needs a window in there.
Okay, then, we don't return the window, we figure out how we're gonna pay for it, install it, and what it costs. And so, if you guys come up with pricing to install it, then we'll, consider it at a future board meeting. But we're not gonna be worried about paying for that in 2013 money, it's gonna be 2014 money.
I think the window should be returned and then get a quote on the complete job. Somebody to cut the concrete and install the window. Instead of this piece.
Well, we gotta pay for it now, Stewie. So we gotta pay for it now, and then we can return it for a credit, and take the credit and buy a window. See, it's a quagmire. So we got the window, there's a need for the window, we just don't have anybody to install it now. We'll have to worry about that next year, see if we have the money to do that. So, if we return it, it might be a restocking charge, and then we're going back, we're gonna buy another window. See how it can go that way? So we got a
How
window,
much is the window?
400.
517.
Yeah. I think there's money in the budget for 013, or 13 money. So we gotta just buy it and then figure out how we're gonna put it in next year. Because we can't install it this year and pay for it this year. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but I just think should have been planned. Can you cut a window in that size and you get a quote and had a one-shot deal? Then you know what you're getting into. In other words, if somebody gave you an estimate, that quote for this much.
I know, but we got essentially a window direct from the vendor. All we do is get the labor in there, so. And unfortunately, it's not an easy thing, because you gotta cut through concrete to put this window in.
That is correct. That's what I'm against.
And then, does it make sense to put a window in the concrete, which she does need the window. But then it's going through concrete, so then what's it involved with doing that? So what the pricing would be, I don't know. We're in a, we wouldn't be able to return it here anyway before the end of the year, so we're actually buying it.
I think large windows on that side to the woods there, it's a target for vandalism. That's how I feel about it.
The size of that window, John, where is it? I'll go measure.
I think Tim said roughly 3 by 3.
Well, we don't know.
Is it?
I mean,
40 by 40, I'll bet it.
No.
So we're almost set on this one here, this will be paid, right?
Yeah.
That one, I don't know what to do that, you?
I don't know about that, and I don't know about Seacoast. I give you an update, I called up Seacoast.
Whoops, excuse me, Tim.
Who's the instant signal alarm, who's the?
Once again, I'm not sure about that, what that was for, and, you know, it's just like, it's the last minute, you gotta pay these bills before the end of the month, and then they didn't give us any direction from instant alarm, probably put alarms in this building back here. You guys didn't approve it, you've been holding it up, so. That with the Gauthier Electric,
No, that's
Those
a
two
different
bills.
one, right?
and then we got Seacoast Lock and Safe, they put the locks in the garage doors and everything else, so that's all related to the garage. It's definitely related to the garage. So we got a Seacoast Lock and Safe that we're still riding on, we're not sure what to do about it. Instant signal and alarm, I'm sure there's a alarm system back there that had to be put in.
Isn't that what we did at the station though?
That was a different bill, we already did that, we already procured that, we already did the work, we already paid for it. I think it was a couple of months ago. And then Gauthier did electrical contracting work. Yankee Pine is, you know, part of this building here, and maybe some miscellaneous stuff that you needed around here.
I think it's out in the trailer, probably like 30 by 40.
All right. So I make a motion that we move it forward, pay it, and if we can turn it back in for whatever reason we have, Stewie.
What were
Turn it
these
back in.
invoices? What date?
That was on back in November.
Goes from
Back
9/25
in
to
November.
11/26.
Not these, you're talking about Yankee Pine ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's back in November.
11/20, it says.
Yeah, you'd have to make a payment on them, because if you run after July, it's last year's money.
Yeah.
You gotta pay them this year.
So we can
Any-
pay
you
for
know,
it.
anything
We
prior.
can pay for it
It was
now.
shipped the 16th and invoice date's the 20th.
And if we decide, say in July, to install it, then we can install it. If we decide that we don't need it, and it cost a fortune to install it, then we can say, can we return it? And then we, might be a restocking fee or whatever, and then we just move this thing forward.
I'll abstain from voting because I think the cost will be excessive cutting through the concrete to install it.
Okay.
Well, where are you gonna put the window if you don't go through the concrete?
Excuse me?
Where are you gonna put the window in that office if you don't go through the concrete?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't wanna be burning up the ratepayers' money. Something like that. The officer's plan there, perhaps it should have been planned for the window beforehand, and you know what your costs are. I don't wanna be difficult, but that's how I feel about it. It's $400 and something for the window. Will it cost $2,000 to install it? I don't know.
I think that, I think we gotta move it forward by buying the window, or paying for the window, and then if we find through doing, you know, our research that it's gonna be too cost prohibitive to put a window in that side of the building. And of course, there's gonna be alarms associated with that. You're gonna wanna have alarms on the window, right?
Where's it stop?
Yeah, so then, you know, you got to cut the concrete, and it might be too cost prohibitive to put a window in there. And then we can say to Yankee Pine, oh, we bought this window, and then maybe we can get our money back by returning it. Or maybe we could use it in some other building or something like that. So I don't know.
I wanna know what the entire project would cost before I vote on it.
Okay. So you wanna put a motion forward, Roy, that we're gonna buy the window, and then we'll decide if we're gonna be able to put the window in based on the cost of installation, or return it in the future?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
No,
Okay.
this one off the books.
And as far as the other ones are concerned,
That one I don't know, and these two I don't know.
specifically, how much did Gauthier get on this project, you know? As far as putting the wiring in and stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Do we know what this is for particular bills for?
Part of it was for the computer wiring, and part of it was for the garage.
Okay, so there was computer wiring to wire up all the computers back there?
Yeah, well, and some work in the original building, yeah.
Yeah.
Have to break it out.
So you're gonna have to, you know,
Have to break it
we're
down.
gonna have to break it out, John,
Break it
in the
out.
future, so we can figure out what's what.
Okay.
Instant alarm. What was that work for?
Once again, some of it was for the new garage and upgrading the system in the old building.
Was it a continuation of anything, or was it just come in and do this?
It needed upgrading in here, but it was new construction.
Okay. When you called them up, did you get 3 quotes when that was there?
I'd have to check my file.
Yeah.
There were 3 different companies, so there was 7 bills.
But I think what we should do in these two here is have them pull it apart, and so we can see what is actually for the computer in the old building, what was actually for the new building.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what we want to do. We're not even sure. This stuff went forward over downtown with our signatures on it, and then the selectmen signed on it, and then all of a sudden it came back that wasn't appropriated, or there was no money to pay for that. So now we're not even sure what the outcome of this whole thing is. We're not even sure. Some of these other things, we had some other thing there we brought up before that went forward because we could say it's part of the general computer
Well,
operation.
that's why I'm saying on this one and this one here, right, you're saying some of it was for the computer for this building.
Yeah.
So I mean, somehow we gotta find out how much of that is.
Yeah, but before we get anybody moving on any direction here, you gotta find out what, we should be doing about it. It's not only us, it's, the selectmen also. And it might mean, this board writes a letter to those vendors saying, can you reconstruct your bill to show 2 different things? Or it might not be. I don't know what we're really supposed to do. We should probably, what do you think, Jack? Do you think we should come down and meet with you guys to figure out what to do about this stuff?
Well, I think it goes back to the appropriation for the new building.
Yeah.
You overspent it. It wasn't for upstairs, the addition up there. I think that's why I get thrown back. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, these are the bills that went forward. There's other bills that haven't even put on a warrant yet, so that's the other side of the coin. We have a whole bunch of bills that haven't even been addressed. 2 of which came before the board tonight. 2 bills never made it a warrant, or these 2 bills for Yankee Pine. So we revisited that tonight and said, we'll move it on forward. But there's other bills there that we're not even sure what the overall solution here. So we haven't come to determination. I think we should come to it jointly. So we should table the rest of this stuff to some other meeting. So we've already decided on those. We sent them
So
down.
just take care of Yankee Pine.
Yankee Pine, we revisited that and we found that, oh, well, the window was related to the main office building. And there was a need for it that was trying to be satisfied, but, you know, we didn't realize how costly it could be. We don't know for sure, because we didn't procure the whole thing. We just bought the window. So let's,
Should have been treated as one project, a window and installation, the way I see it.
yep,
That's just my opinion.
yep.
We got something here on this.
Okay, so let's-
What are we gonna do here?
Outstanding bills to the department. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, try to gather up all these other bills that weren't put on a warrant and then try to figure out what we're gonna do as a town, take care of this stuff. Or see if there's any ideas around there that might be something that can help us out here. Water treatment plant change order, that goes with what John Hargraves brought up at the beginning of the meeting. Water ban, this is something that's carryover from before. What's the latest in the water ban, John?
We shouldn't be out of water. We shouldn't be out of water.
No, we're not. What you have as part of your withdrawal permit is a water use restriction policy that's geared towards the stream flow trigger in the Parker River. Whenever it drops below a certain level for 3 days, you have to put a water main.
All right,
So it really has nothing to do with the amount of water you have in your wells, it's whatever the river gauge says. I checked it just yesterday. I think it's still pretty high because of all the rain that we've had.
what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to put a water ban out or not? We required by the DEP to put a water ban out or not?
Stream flow trigger restrictions from May 1st through September 30th. Stream flow, if you signed USGS local stream gauge, Parker River, May 1st through June 30th, 20 cubic feet per second, based on minimum flows.
Okay, what are we supposed to do, John?
If it drops below 20 for 3 consecutive days, then we put the water.
Okay, so we haven't put a water ban on now or not?
No,
Okay.
What is it now, John?
I could pull out water.
Oh, sorry, I just wondered where you were.
It's pretty
So
high
the
because-
bottom line is, John, we don't have to put a water ban in effect right now, right?
Not right this second.
Okay. 10 seconds from now?
No. I think the last one I looked at, because it's been so much rain, it was like 87 cubic feet per second.
So did that gauge go down, the level of the river go down below that gauge for 3 consecutive days? Or did it bounce up on the second day?
What you mean?
Well, if it's down, the gauge, there's a gauge in the river.
Yeah,
So the water level goes down
yeah.
for 3 days. Then the water ban says, okay, the water ban police come out and they say, well, we gotta put a water ban out,
Right.
right? So did that happen? Or did it only go down for 2 days, then shoot back up?
It hasn't gone down for, it's been pretty high.
Okay. All right, so we don't have to put a water ban on.
Not right this minute.
Okay,
But, I usually check it every morning.
okay.
Where do you have to go to check it, John?
There's a website, USGS.
Does anybody call us up and say you gotta put a water ban on?
No, they couldn't read it.
So we have to watch it every day?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry guys.
it's okay.
It's Paul.
Okay.
Hello? Hey, Paul.
Water leak policy.
And
We're
these
still
two
done.
here, these things here
Nothing yet, huh?
brought out was,
Let's table that until Laura gets back.
no, but I mean, we get these ones, we should get these written out.
Okay.
That's what they came up with. This is Central Street and that's Havel Street.
Did you get this, Stewie?
It's on the pen.
There's one of them who's down next to the Rowden Fire Department.
Yeah. You want to discuss this, Roy? Make a motion?
Well, I mean, this is what Laura came up with, is whatever you guys wanna do.
Okay, so didn't we decide to give them an abatement? We're
Yeah.
gonna make it fair, and that this is the
This is what she
mathematics
came up
behind it?
with.
Okay, so you want to bring them up and we'll make a motion?
for these two, abatements and
Okay,
that she figured out and what she came up with, that we, okay.
okay. So I think you gotta make a motion one at a time, I don't know. For 915 Havel Street.
I make a motion that we abate it, as Laura figured it out,
Okay,
to the 109.80 plus a discount, no finance charge.
all right, do you want to second that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then this is the other one. 389 Central Street?
And I, same thing, we abate it as Laura figured it out at the 259.30 less a discount with no finance charge.
Can I see the other one, please?
All right, so which one is Ruby?
Right here, this one.
Is Sue second one? Could you do second one?
Do you remember, did you second it? Or did I second it?
I second the other one, not this one.
Okay. No, you haven't even put a motion for it
Right.
yet.
I made this.
Oh, you made the motion on
Yeah.
this, okay, so do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, just put it in the notes for John. Minutes. Can you read my hand scratch?
What's that?
This is on those two water bills.
Okay.
These ones here, then we're gonna go with, what they didn't put on the list. I made the motion and Sue seconded them.
Okay.
What else we got?
we'll get the water ban covered, I'm glad to say. Discuss water leak policy. Well, we talked about it last week, it's a case-by-case basis, right?
Yep.
All right,
Is that it? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?